Alrighty, welcome back to the Clubhouse for another episode of Deuce, episode 3, in fact. I'm Julie Snook. Joining me on the couch is this man, AP. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you, Jules.
A nice, casual-looking AP. Is there a reason you're a bit more cash today?
Well, it's summer, isn't it, Jules? So, no, actually, I did bring in a proper collared shirt, and then it fell down on the floor as I was driving in, and now it looks like a used tissue all scrunched up. So I didn't bother with that one and just wore the T-shirt. You okay with it?
Yeah, no,
okay?
I think it looks great. Brings out the colour of your eyes and the guns.
Oh, that's the gun. Pistols. Water pistols.
Things are already getting a little bit loose here in the Clubhouse today, and it's for good reason, because we've got a guest in with us today. He's, I'd say, career best form. He's a very well-loved Aussie on the tennis circuit, rightly so, a bit of a legend as well. Welcome to the Clubhouse, Jordan Thompson. Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming all this way, and your T-shirt doesn't look like a tissue.
Oh, I thought he was going to put some crap on me there, but he does have arms like javelins, so I'm looking pretty good next to him.
Thank you, Tomo. I was going to start nicely, but if you're going to go down that path, no. But firstly, congratulations on your last 12 months. Looking ahead to the next 12 months, you'll go into the Australian Open first time ever as a seed.
Woo-hoo.
So that's a reward for travelling to places we don't even know about and going through things that we don't even know about. But how pumped are you about the fact that you're protected in those early rounds? Well done, mate.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I've been working my whole career to get seeded at the Aussie, and first time being seeded in a Grand Slam is going to be at home, so that'll be pretty special. And then move on to the doubles. We should be a top 4 seed, so hopefully all guns blazing if Maxi gets healthy.
Yeah,
we've got so many questions about life on the road. But before we get into that, I want to ask you how you are, because we've managed to catch you in the midst of a very brief break. You look great.
Looking casual. I outdone him.
not hard.
No, I've been really looking forward to this time off. I mean, the tennis preseason's a bit of a joke. I mean, it's about 3 weeks long. I mean, if you play Davis Cup and, you play well into November, you come home and you still need a bit of time off. And then, by the time you start hitting balls, it's, you're already into December. The 25 season starts in 24. Makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, it's a bit of a joke, the preseason, but, I'm just happy to be back and, going down the beach and hanging out with mates and, just trying to relax.
We'll get through some of the highs of 2024 because it's worth discussing as well. And we want to get into life on tour, for instance. I want to know simple stuff about, like, how do you book hotels and who manages your life and what kind of life you have. But overall, 2024, a highlight and not so much a low light, but at what point did you start to look forward to, as you just mentioned, going to the beach with your mates in December in Sydney?
I think the highlight actually came right at the start of the year. I kind of hit the ground running, beat Rafa in Brisbane, singles and doubles, and, his last 2 matches in Australia. So
killed him off, well done.
Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, I don't want to see him on the court again. So, no, that was, a real highlight for me. I mean, I grew up watching Rafa play. He's winning Grand Slams when he was, just out of high school, or probably in high school. So, to share the court with him in Australia and packed crowd at Brizzy on like a Friday night, it was incredible. I mean, that's why we play tennis. And I'd say the low light was actually, you lose a bunch of first round matches, but Wimbledon doubles final, 3 match points to be a Wimbledon champion. Felt like it was on my racket there, 1 point, and it didn't go our way. And we didn't get broken. We barely looked like losing points on serve, and they just edged us in a third set tiebreaker. And I've never been more shattered from a doubles match. Usually I use it for practice and just to play with Maxi and have a little bit of fun, and that really hurt me. I didn't think it would hurt me that bad, but I was having dreams about it, nightmares really. And I thought when we got to the US Open, we had the very next slam, we had 3 match points again. And I think we got it on the third one, but it got to a tiebreaker when we were up serving for it. And I said, if we lose this match, I'm never playing doubles again. So I'd say those were the 2, highlight and low light.
Yeah, fair enough.
How do you pick yourself back up off those big moments as well, and those big losses? Because tennis is such a mental game as well as physical. The physical element is just extraordinary, but I find the mental side of things so fascinating as well. How do you dust yourself off?
Yeah, luckily, I had a bit of a break after Wimbledon. Well, I say a bit of a break, 1 week break before the next tournament. And a lot of people were thinking, oh, he's going to have a Wimbledon hangover. And me and Maxie got to Atlanta, the first hard court tournament in the States, right after that grass court swing, and we played doubles, and we were playing, a pair of wild cards. It was the Nakashima brothers, so obviously his brother's, a top 30, 40 player. What Brandon is, and then his brother's playing college, and I think we saved match point, and we were going through the motions, it felt like, but the Wimbledon hangover, and then I came out and made the final of the singles, and I was just within a whisker away from winning the tournament, and it would have been the second one of the year, so I felt like getting on the singles court actually helped with that doubles disappointment. But yeah, when I got out in that first round doubles match, and I use it as practice for singles for that week. You get a match before playing singles, and I was just thinking, I do not want to be here right now. I mean, what am I doing on this doubles court? But it couldn't have been any better for me. I got a match before singles, and then made the final, lost in 3, and had a good US swing, so recovered pretty quickly. But to this day, that match still hurts me.
With tennis, how it works, we'll go back to your singles. I don't think people appreciate how good the number 150 player in the world actually is in tennis. And I reference this because it's taken you a while to figure it all out and deal with being on tour and overseas and everything. And all of a sudden, 10-year overnight success story, you get inside the top 30, you get yourself a seed. But what is, how big a improvement has it been for you from going 60 in the world to inside the top 30? Because I reckon the top 3 or 4 guys over the last 20 years have distorted what really good looks like.
That's a good point.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I think we've nearly lost them all. Those, the top 4.
And you've had a bit to do with it as well, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I don't know if I can take credit for that, but I'm more than happy to. No, I mean, I first figured it out when I went to play futures, and it was over 10 years ago, and I'm playing on clay, and I mean, I wasn't ranked, I might have been ranked, 500 or 600, and I'm playing first round qualies against a guy ranked 2,000, and I beat him 6 in the third.
Yeah.
I know at the time I was ranked 600, but I'm like, if this is what the guy ranked 2,000 in the world is, this is going to be absolutely brutal to try and even just get inside 500, playing first round qualies against these guys. But I guess, you get older, you get stronger, you get fitter if you put the work in. And I felt like I always had something there. And, I just kept working towards it. And, when I got to, I think, Australian Open against Jersey January was my first one and lost in 5 sets, I thought, maybe I can, go okay. I didn't think I'd go this well. But no, it just goes to show you put hard work in. I'm not the biggest guy in stature. I feel like the two are they're full of giants. I mean, I feel like I'm, bottom 1% on stature. I feel like every time I go out to play, I'm smallest on the court.
Yeah, you're looking up at someone to say g'day.
It sucks. So, I mean, I've had a bunch of coaches and they've all helped me, so much. But I think Marinko Matosevic has helped me the most. And he really, really believed in me. And, I guess if he didn't, he wouldn't have taken me on. But, yeah, we sat down at the end of the start of 23 season when we first started together. And I played a match. I didn't think it was that bad. And he came and sat me down. And he's like, what do you think of that match? I'm like, not great. It could have gone here or there. And he's like, I think you should be routining guys like this. And it was a real wake up call. I was like, shit, okay. I really need to have a really hard look at myself. And from that match, I felt like I have improved a lot, but I think it was just more of a mentality thing.
How much does confidence coming into the start of a season, say start of 24, beating someone like Rafa, getting that confidence off the get-go and then keeping that momentum moving forward, how much does that come into play as well in terms of just you get a good feel for the start of the season? Yeah, I mean, I think key to success at the, like my level is like a really good start, because I've had summers where I haven't won a match and it's really hurt me for the rest of the year even. But I got on court and beat Rafa in 3 and played a good match against Grigor Dimitrov, and he ended up winning the tournament. I lost a tight 2-setter in the semis, and I got to Adelaide and I was just hitting with Marinko. I've never felt more confident on the court. I feel like I wasn't missing. I was getting to the net. I was volleying well, and it's
it's funny with tennis. It happens like that. I mean, you can lose confidence like that, and you can gain confidence like that. So, just one good match, or even like one good set, even can really boost you for the season. And that really helped me a lot, because I've played another good match in Adelaide. Got a little bit hurt, but then won a 5-setter at the Australian Open, and that was the best summer I've had. And then I got to the States and won my first title 2 or 3 weeks later, and 2 quarterfinals before that. So I feel like that match, I hit the ground running in this season.
Now, speaking of running, so your 3-minute pre-season that you have, or off-season, or whatever it is, in between catching up with family and friends who are no doubt happy to have you back and catch up and tell all these stories, you're going out to the West Tigers this week. So for anyone like our American audience or whatever, the West Tigers are a NRL side, a rugby league side, who haven't had the greatest of fortunes over the past, I don't know, 15 years.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. Sorry to rub it in, mate. Lucky you travel the world during the winter, because you don't have to put up with that.
Oh, no, I wake up in the middle of the night and watch them and think, what the hell am I doing? Just cost myself sleep.
But you're going out to do a bit of training with them.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, I went out at the start of the season, and I still maintain that it was the best day of my life.
Really?
Oh, 100%.
Why?
I mean, I love footy so much, and
I just mean...
Was that a dig or?
No. Well...
Why?
Well,
It's so bad, they're wooden spoons? What are you going to
Well, each to their own who we barrack for, but it doesn't sound like fun training with a footy team.
It was great fun. It was honestly the best day of my life.
Is it because it's a different style of training, or do you just round footy players and you...
No, I mean, obviously that's my team, and I've grown up watching, the West Tigers play, and the first season I ended up watching, they won it in 2005. I was only 10 or 11 years old, and
oh god, that
Jules?
makes me feel so old. I just did the numbers.
You did have a dig at my team there. I didn't mean to do that. But then Benji Marshall's running the crew out there, and I watched him win the grand final, and asked me to come out any time, and I thought this is the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
And I got to train. I love playing footy. So running with the boys, playing obviously not full contact, they'd destroy me. But no, I just got to be involved and work hard, and just got to see what those guys do in a preseason, and then it feels like I'm closer to the team when I'm watching them, because I've met them, and then I get to I guess it's like anybody, you meet someone and you're like, you feel a bit more invested.
How about the Benji factor? How much does that mean you enjoy it as well?
Funnily enough, he wasn't my favourite player.
Really? Who's your favourite player?
Brett Hodgson.
Oh.
He was the fullback. He's my favourite sports person by a country mile.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever asked for an autograph or a photo in my life, and I've got a framed picture of Hodgson on my at my parents' house on the wall.
So you went up to Roger Federer one day and said, "Fed, you know Brett Hodgson, mate."
Absolutely. I mean, I play the sport he's playing. What's this? I see him in the locker room. I don't care about this guy.
Do you literally run rings around them when it comes to the running?
Sure.
The cardio? You would surely smash them.
Kill them.
I went all right. Yeah.
That's a yes.
Yes.
That's the modesty.
I guess I've got, less weight to, lug around, and those boys, they're pretty big, so I feel like I've got a bit of an advantage when we're doing a bit of running.
Tackling practice?
No, I don't want any bar of that one. We'll play touch.
That's the end of it. Hey, just on tour, though, I see a lot of the Europeans and South Americans, they'll, out the back of events, away from the crowds or whatever, they'll set up a little mini soccer pitch and play a lot of football. I say Novak, he doesn't need an excuse to get out there half the time, even with his crew and Goran and all that, or his ex-crew. And Andy Murray will probably get out there if he can run with his new charge as coach. You ever get involved in that, or do you ever bring out a footy to kind of play a bit of
funny you say that
tackle bull rush out the back there?
Usually halfway through the season when we get to the American swing, I get to go home. There's a lot of fields at IMG, and I got a footy and a soccer ball.
This is in Florida?
In Florida. Yeah. And from then on, we travel with the footy and the soccer ball. My strength conditioner, he was He was a goalkeeper. He was signed to a couple of A-League clubs. So he's in goal, so I get to ping a few shots at him. Can't ever get one by him, but I think I'm a bit better with the footy.
But you don't get involved with the
No,
Europeans and the
we
South
sort of
Americans?
do our own thing.
Yeah.
We're just happy, running around trying to hit some top bins.
Fair enough.
So let's just go back to the basics here. What does life look like for you roughly? Where are you based? How many months of the year are you on the road? When do you get back home here to Sydney?
So fortunately this year I got to come home early. It was after the Asian swing, so Shanghai, which is probably October. So I go from January, obviously Australian Open's the last one here. Then I'm gone. Mm-hmm. So I usually come back right at the very end, usually at the end of the season. But there was, I was just so fried after Shanghai. I had such a long year. I played so many matches, and I thought I need to get home and just have a couple of weeks off. So I didn't play the first two indoor European events. So I guess I was away for 9 or 10 months, and that was a short stint.
How many frequent flyer points do you have, Tomo?
You got a calculator?
Yeah, you're platinum, surely. You're doing.
I feel like I'm gonna rip Qantas here. I had more than enough status credits for platinum, and I get an email saying, "No, we've had to bump you down because you didn't fly enough Qantas flights." Thinking, I had that many status credits. I was
little technicality.
one short. Yeah, stuff you. I'll never fly again.
You should be an Australian politician. You get straight in the chairman's lounge. But anyway, that's by the by. If you don't know what I'm talking about, again, an international audience, look it up. It's a weird old story. It's typical of Australia, really.
Very odd.
But day to day, week to week, how do you physically collect prize money? How do you book your travel? How do you
AP's got so many
pay
questions.
your tax? How do you live? Like I get home every day, I open the mailbox, I go, right, I've got to pay that bill, I've got to do this, I've got to get the kids somewhere. Jules is the same. You organise your life, but you're doing it out of a freaking suitcase. So how do you plan a normal existence? Is there one?
Well, it's just me. I've got no kids or missus, so it's a bit easier.
I won't say anything there because it'll get me in trouble.
I mean, the prize money, so you're just giving the ATP your bank details. Don't need to do anything. That's it. You just put the details in. It goes straight into the account, which is pretty good. Oh, I mean, it's easy. It just comes in after the tournament's finished. So I feel like you never have to go to an office. Never have to do anything. Sometimes you do have to go in there if you get a fine. Not saying that's me.
Well, I have seen you on the list on occasions, Tomo, when you've sent a ball onto the next postcode. Occasionally.
And, a couple more, I think.
A few swear words, potty mouth over here. Occasionally. It's just competitive.
If the microphone picks it up, but there's a few microphones around these days.
So your problem is you got to learn a language that no one else on that court can understand.
And you still get pinged.
And no one else in the crowd, no one else watching. It's a bit tricky.
I've seen Novak say some things that would get him defaulted straight away on the tennis court, but because no one was speaking his lingo, he got away with it. Anyway.
Maybe I need to, come up with gibberish or something. I've been brought into the office a couple of times. I'm not going to lie. Actually, one time at Wimbledon, playing Nick Kyrgios first round, and it's a set-all, and we're playing a marathon tiebreaker in the third, and I think I lose it 12-10, and it wasn't that bad for me. It wasn't that bad. I've gone up. The chairs at Wimbledon. They're not the best chairs. I mean, it's like metal.
Yeah, they're old tinny, metal $20 Bunnings chairs.
There we go. I'm glad you said it, not me, because I've gone up to it and, in my words, I tapped it. I actually did not hit it that hard. I gave it a bit more than a love tap.
What was the general interpretation of said love tap? That it was a bit more?
It was a bit more, yeah. Okay. But it wasn't actually that bad.
A costly love tap?
It was costly because it was a tiny crack in the racket. And usually with me, if I'm going to throw it, it's going to be in pieces. And, I mean, I get off and, I'll lose a match and I, get called into the office and we've slapped you with £3,000 fine. I'm thinking, what did I do? Did I swear? Did I, offend a member? And did I scrap up the grass? Yeah, you broke your racket on the chair and, that's going to be $3,000. I said, can we go and have a look at that? Because that's not worth $3,000. I mean, the chair's worth £5.
I'm here to challenge you.
Yeah, didn't work. But I thought that was the roughest one I got. And after that, I'm like, okay, we're not going to be throwing my racket at Wimbledon anymore or, love tapping chairs.
Love tapping chairs. Have you always been quite fiery?
Yeah, anyone that knows me can attest to that. My old man said, if I was playing FIFA or, a video game, when I was a kid, you could hear me from 3 houses down. But then as soon as anything competitive's gone, back to gear one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd attest to that. It's quite fun watching him play sometimes because he does care so much. But the hat cops it, the racket on a hard court cops it. Yeah, but he controls himself well at Wimbledon. Do not dig up that.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
that
a metal
court at
chair.
Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, what about just planning your schedule, actually, and then logistically going about executing that schedule, getting from place to place? All of a sudden, you're out of a tournament. You don't want to stick around in that place for an extra 2 days. Like, do you live out of it? Literally live out of it? Do you ever unpack your bags when you get to a tournament?
Absolutely not. I'm a little bit, I'm a bit of a neat freak.
Who does your washing?
The tournament.
What?
Well, of course. I mean,
What do you mean?
well, we have hotel rooms. We're not going to go down to the laundry, man.
Yeah. So rewind.
Okay, so laundry service at the tournament is usually there.
On
Is
site.
this
at the
one of
On
the
tournament.
site or the hotel. Chuck your bag in.
We've got to-
comes back the next day.
Episode 3, we've got to who washes your undies. That's
The Reg
area
Grundies are clean.
Yeah.
We did promise a highbrow chat after all. Okay, go on. Sorry.
What was the question? I've also got
Yeah,
Reg
like
Grundies
organising
on my mind. No good.
living out of a suitcase.
Oh, yeah,
You literally live out of a suitcase.
Literally live out of the suitcase. I mean, my clothes are always folded immaculately. Everything's in order. When I get out, I only put the toiletries in line.
I like this.
Yeah,
I like
pretty
that.
neat. I got told, I don't know, by a coach when I was playing juniors that a clean room is a clean mind.
Oh,
So I kind of took that literally.
Yeah.
I take a few things literally. So a few things that I do, it's probably someone's told me that about 20 years ago. I don't know if it was true or not, but I think it is. But with travel, last minute everything.
Yeah.
There's a little website that the ATP uses to book, transport, accommodation. I wouldn't know the login to that. My agent does everything except for the flights. The flights are generally me.
Yeah.
geez, that's a risky one to leave to the talent as such.
What do you mean?
Well, what if you forget? What if you leave it to the last minute? What if it's, oh, well.
It all works out.
It's on you.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've had a good week, if I feel, I don't know what your kind of reward to yourself is, Jules, I occasionally buy myself a McFlurry, for instance.
Do you?
Well, not
Couldn't
so
tell.
much when I'm sitting in a shirt that might be a size down. But I don't know if you have a reward for yourself when you feel like you've done. Hugo, the husband from the.
Hugo, the husband. You can pipe down. Go on. It's your story.
I was wanting
It's
to
not about
pipe
me.
up when we
No.
were talking about me losing my
No.
temper over here.
wanna
I mean, the
ask
Scrabble
you-
board goes flying.
Before we came on, Jules gets competitive when she gets Scrabble and gets
It's a loose one
ZQR or
today.
something like that as your words, and you have to make something of that letters. But what's your reward? My question is, if you have a really good week, like you did a couple of times this
Oh, yeah. Do you
this
treat
year,
yourself?
where you won a tournament or whatever, do you actually go, you know what, splash out on yourself here, Jord? I'm going to go business class, not economy. Or you do business class anyway, I'm not sure. But do you buy yourself like little rewards around the place?
Not really. I mean, I feel like if I buy something that's not food, it's got to go in the suitcase, and that's just it's put me up to too many kilos.
Yeah.
The suitcase is big enough as it is. I mean, yeah, I think the last time I bought something was US Open. I actually rocked into the Nintendo shop and
Oh,
Wow.
my
Yeah.
Lord.
just
12 years
Sleep.
old.
yeah. I actually don't play that many video games, but when I grew up, I had the Nintendo 64
Yeah.
and Mario Kart. Massive Mario Kart fan, and my favorite character was Wario. And
That means nothing to me. I'm
is the
sorry.
yellow guy with a mustache.
Mm.
Is I've seen a toy and a hat, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that'll go well in the house.
Are
Okay.
you
Gotta get it.
serious?
Yeah, I'm 12 years old. Yeah,
Oh my Lord.
Always a
I'd
kid
be
at heart.
buying watches, bags, cars. I mean, you've probably already done that too. Houses. I mean, who on the tour is pretty flashy and likes to treat themselves to more than a McFlurry?
I think Demon. I'm going to throw him under the bus.
Really?
Ooh.
He likes his cars and watches, as he said. So I think if anyone goes big, it's probably him, because we're all pretty chill. I mean, we just see it the way I see it. Like, when are we going to use it? And if we put it in the suitcase, it's too many kilos.
Mm.
Going to have to ditch it at some point. So, but I guess, Alex, he lives over in Europe, so he gets home more than any of us. So he gets to use his toys more than we do.
There you go. I wouldn't have expected that name.
Well, he's made a lot of coins, so I think he deserves
good
to.
on him.
He's only
100%.
25. He's probably got 10 mil in the bank.
Good on him.
Yeah, absolutely.
From what I can appreciate, every player on tour, it revolves around airport to the hotel, to the courts, to the hotel, to the courts until you have to go back to the airport. Is there many on tour that actually get out and experience life? Because Wally was here a couple of weeks ago, and back in those days, it felt like they lived a lot outside of the tennis court. But now it's become such a professional enterprise. Can you afford to do it?
Yeah. I mean, I drink maybe 2 times a year, where I think Wal would have been,
2 times a day.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think, it's become a lot more professional, but I don't think we really get outside, hotel, courts, airports. I mean, the only thing I can think of is going down the parking, kicking the footy.
Really?
That's like a little escape for me and Tonu, my strength conditioner. Apart from that, we really don't get up to much. I mean, maybe in Washington we went out and, went to the White House, took a bike onto the, Lincoln Memorial, those kind of things. But all the tournaments are in the same cities every year. So you see it once, don't need to see it again.
Fair enough.
But that one, I guess it's easy to take a like a Lime bike, and it's electric, so it's easy to get around and just get out and get some fresh air. But other than that, we're in the hotel room playing cards or FIFA or something.
Isn't that weird? You think, tennis player, you get to see the world. You get to
really
go to all
don't.
these places.
Well, it's really draining as well. I mean, in the summer, like in the US summer, I mean, in Washington, it's like 40 degrees and humid. You don't want to be just walking around before you got to play, or even after, because even after, you've got another 3 days before you got to be at the next place and playing again anyway.
Wow.
Geez, it's so important to have people around you that you like, that you get along with, because you're spending so much time on the road. That's why I suppose you see these posies that travel with the players and their families. You've got to really be selective with who's with you, right?
100%. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me to have my strength conditioner with me all the time. I mean, we've known each other since we were 5 years old, and I'd say there's I mean, when you're in each other's pockets, it's easy to get annoyed, but with him, never been annoyed. Hopefully he'd say the same about me, but my coach, on the other hand, is he can be one annoying bastard, and he knows it. And I swear he does it on purpose, and I know he does it on purpose because he's like a gremlin that's got wet.
Marinko's a very interesting character because you can actually sit there and have a conversation, and a newspaper covers a lot of issues in one publication. Marinko is basically like one of those newspapers, and you open it at a random page and he'll just start talking about a certain issue.
He is a worldly man.
Oh my goodness.
He's got a lot of knowledge up there, but it also
a lot of YouTube,
a lot of rubbish.
Complete rubbish.
Oh, yeah,
but you need characters around, do you? Because
he's one hell of a character.
Yeah.
It's never boring with him around. Obviously, he's got a great tennis brain, but his brain never turns off. Yeah. I actually don't know how he gets to sleep.
Do you ever get sick of it or homesick, or do you think this is just a time in my life and I want to make the most of it?
Yeah, I'd say more the latter. I mean, career doesn't last forever, and while you're fit and healthy, I want to be out doing the best that I can do. But in saying that, when the time comes, I don't think I would be afraid of leaving it behind. I mean, I get to come back to Australia. Yeah. Best country in the world. I get to go down the beach. When I retire, I guess I'd have so much time on my hands to do those things that I never got to do in my life. So I don't think I would be afraid to let go like a lot of guys are. Yeah. But no, I just want to play as long as I can, and while the body lets me, because I love playing and I love competing, and I don't want to take that for granted.
Favorite destination that you go to on that yearly cycle that you go on, and it might not be a current place, but let me know the biggest shithole you've ever been to as a tennis player.
He's actually, this is no word of a lie, put that on the rundown.
With all due respects to shitholes as well.
I mean, obviously he is number one, Sydney. Bias, but I'm shattered they got rid of that tournament because I got to stay at home.
No United Cup this year?
No, that's
because you're playing Brizzy.
It's Demon. Yep, Demon. He'll He'll lead the nation.
You'll be on a billboard in Brizzy. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Don't think so. I don't want this mug on a billboard. Biggest shithole has got to go.
So when I say this, I mean the place you've been to and you've gone.
There's a couple.
Like I'm talking
It's a
futures.
shithole.
This is futures, and then you go, what on earth is going on here, and how did they have a tennis tournament?
I think I can answer that because I've been to a fair few shitholes, and I played a future over 10 years ago in Romania.
Yeah.
The place was called Bacau.
Yeah.
I got there and it was on a propeller plane, and we get off, and I'd say
Propeller plane.
it was it could have seen. I thought I was flying private. There's only about 4 people on the plane. You get off and it's going around, and it honestly is the size of a donut. You put in the pool and just one's coming around at a time. I'm thinking, shit, this is gonna be a long week. Get out, and I get to the hotel, and there's dust on the beds, and I get in for a shower, and there's no shower head, nothing. And I've turned it on.
It's like a
It's
tap.
like a hose.
It was a hose. And obviously, it was probably like midnight, and I've got in, I'm going to have a shower after I get off the plane. Flick the water on, and it was going off like a cut snake. And I'm watching this thing just go round. The bathroom has looked like it's been hit by a tsunami. Like tidal waves come through there, and I'm thinking, I need to leave as soon as possible. And I ended up staying the whole week, and the food was a disaster.
Yeah.
I ended up just going to like this convenience store and having just like water and Gatorade and fruit. And if I had a meal, I was like, if it was chicken, I'd take a bite and make sure it wasn't pink inside every bite. I mean, this is just exhausting. No word of a lie. I saw someone get mugged near that convenience store.
Yeah.
So I steer clear of that for the rest of the week.
See, what I should have said at the start there is not shithole, but eye-opening. Because
Yeah.
I've heard of guys who have gone to Korea, and it's like rural Korea, and there's nothing to eat. There's like, you look at your food and you go, I'm not sure I can have that. So they've dialed in. There was one guy, it might have been John Millman, I'm not sure, who literally got a pizza delivered to the courts
Yeah, well, it wasn't
while
him.
the match was on.
He tells the story. He
He
was
tells the
there.
story,
He
yeah.
was there. And he's a good storyteller, Johnny Mill.
We will have him on at one stage.
You got to.
Absolutely.
He's the best. Someone had got, and the pizza delivery man had walked onto the court.
Mid-match.
Stop.
Apparently, mid-match, has just walked on. He's got a little helmet
But
on.
these are the things that make getting to where you are now kind of
That's
enjoyable
hilarious.
and worthwhile. And
It's hilarious now, but at the time in Romania, I was like, I can't wait to get out of here. And I don't know if I'm going to get out because I need to fly private.
or walk.
Well, AP jumped in the rundown and put some really interesting questions here for you. So I'm going to ask another of his questions.
Here we go.
Okay. Best buffet at the court on tour.
Ooh.
And I want to know how big these buffets are too. Because in my head, you can have everything and anything. Because you guys are the best of the best.
I'm going to have to give it to the Australian Open. They've got 2 levels at the Aussie Open, and it's just dedicated to food. And, you can...
Incredible.
It's it really is. I mean, you can get Korean, Japanese, Italian. You can go get a steak, fish,
Wow.
your smoothie. I've got to give it to the Aussie Open.
Yeah, okay. That's true. I have been behind the scenes at the Oz Open and
It's hard to beat.
it's
2 levels of
Because the
Just
Aussie,
food.
and
Pretty
Craig Tiley and the
impressive.
crew, they do a job where they know that, okay, Wimbledon's got the prestige, the French is, the French, the US Open, biggest and best, and it's American. But they know need to go above and beyond for the players to go, this is the standard you can expect every time you come back here, and they keep on delivering, eh?
They do. I mean, I feel like every time I go back to the Australian Open, it just gets better and better. I don't know how you can improve on that facility or event.
Helicopters for every player to get them to the courts.
Why not?
Yeah.
Get on it, Craig.
That's next.
well, speaking of best perk of a tournament you've been to.
Best perk.
Is it like the Porsche Cup for the WTA in Stuttgart? Have you heard of that one?
You get a car if you win
I
it.
think you're a seed.
Oh, really?
Or a highly ranked player, you get a Porsche.
It'll be a
for rocking up.
strong tournament, that one.
Yeah.
I don't think we
you
have
should
anything like
Look
that.
into that one.
Yeah.
You should check that one out.
Yeah. I don't know if the men have that, do they?
Nah.
Oh, that's good. Best perk.
But do you get show bags for rocking up at some tournaments?
Yeah, but funnily enough, I'll never pick it up. Marinko's always like, do you get
your 20 kilo thing?
Oh,
yeah.
What's in the show bags?
Sometimes it's just a shirt, a hat, a bottle,
key rings, fridge magnets.
Yeah, stuff.
Jeez,
that's
how many
really
of those
good.
do you need?
Not many, so that's why I don't pick it up anymore.
Yeah, right.
I actually don't know. I know the US Open used to give Tiffany & Co. gifts, so that's obviously, I'd say, the most prestigious gift.
Oh, I like it.
How many of those have you re-gifted to the other half at the time?
Nearly all of them. I mean, I'm not going to wear them.
Well, that's awkward. How many getting around with it, Tiffany?
Yeah. I just hope any player doesn't actually say, "Yeah, I got this for you," and then you see he comes into the tennis and 50 chicks are wearing the same thing. I'll get
All
caught out in the lie there.
Some of the players, I mean, I've grown up watching the likes of Federer, who is my favourite of all time, and I actually think I'd turn to water if I had to ever sit down and converse with him. But what was it like for you growing up, watching the likes of these guys, and then not only walking out and playing them, but shoulder to shoulder, spending time on tour with them, getting to know them? They're some of the biggest, when we're talking about, the big four, the big three, the biggest names in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I loved Rafa and Andy Murray. So, when I'm, playing these guys, I'm thinking like I grew up watching these guys on telly, and I was just like getting ready to go to school, and they're obviously at the top of the game. They've done incredible things in the sport, and then there's me just sharing the court with them. I'm thinking, how did I get to this point in my life?
Pink chicken in Romania, you got through that, and that's how you.
I think that's how. Yeah, just character building. If I can take down Pink Chicken, I can do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think it's more like a pinch yourself moment. Even like when I played Joe Wilfred Songer, and I was just coming through when he made the final, coming through in juniors like 13s, 14s, and he's playing the final Australian Open, and then fast forward a lot of years later, and I'm playing him first round in Miami in a Masters, and I actually said to him in the shake of hands, I was like, it was an honour and a privilege to share the court with you. And he was a great guy, and he was always one of the friendlier guys to me. So you just got to think like where you came from.
With the big guys, so you've played Rafa at the French, Novak at Wimbledon. So Novak has owned Wimbledon when he's at his top, and Rafa is the French basically in the last 20 years.
He's the king.
If you had the choice of which one to experience again, which one would you go for?
Oh no, 100%. We're going on grass. I said to Rafa at the end of that match, I said, it was, I did say it was an honour to play you, but it was not fun because I got whipped, and I honestly felt like I'm doing well if I can win points on this surface, because I played him on hard court in Paris, in the Masters, maybe 2 years before that, and I lost 6-1, 7-6, and I had set point in the second set, and obviously it's on quicker hard court, and I thought, maybe next time I play him on hard court, I'll do better than I did in the first set. And then I get him at the French first round, and I actually got off a flight, and they'd been doing the draw, and I had so many messages, and I'm like, this cannot be good. It's going to be a train wreck of a draw. I'm thinking, who can it be? And I go to the first seed, and it's not Rafa. Go to the second seed, it's not Rafa. He's probably ranked 5 or 6 at the time. I was seeing him playing the 5th seed, Rafael Nadal. Great, may as well book me flight now.
What then makes you feel so helpless? Because we can watch it and we can see how he moves and how he hits the ball and gets it up and all of those things, especially on a lively day in Paris. But when you are actually facing that ball coming towards you,
what's it like?
What is it sounding like? What is it looking like?
Everything is above my shoulders. And he can hit the ball so hard, and it's so safe, and it's bouncing so high over my head. So obviously no one's good above their shoulders, but I feel like because I'm not as tall as the rest of the tour, I feel like every time I'm playing a two-handed backhand, he's whipping his left-handed forehand into my backhand. I feel like my calves are getting a workout because I'm jumping to every ball and I'm not getting much on it, and then I'm just running side to side, and if I can get the ball back. Whereas on grass, I feel like I can hide behind my serve and The points are shorter. You get a bigger strike in early. So you get a big strike in on clay. It means absolutely nothing against Rafa. I mean, that was the hardest task in tennis by a country mile, I think, is to take down Rafa at the French Open.
How many games did you get off him?
6. I think it was 2-2-2.
So you happy with that?
No. I mean, I was happy that I didn't get bageled because I've seen him bagel. I've seen him I've seen him bagel.
Fed in a final.
Yeah, and even Casper Ruud, one of the greatest, the better clay courter of our generation. He's incredible on clay, and he's just handing out bagels to him. So I guess 2-2-2 is an okay day at the office.
Is there a match that stands out in terms of? For any reason, really, whether it was a victory, whether it was coming up against someone who you just couldn't believe you were playing against, whether it was location, whatever it might be, is there a match that stands out to you in particular where you just thought, wow?
I think it was, that day at Queen's, played Andy Murray. He was world number 1 and he'd won Queen's, 4 or 5 times. And I was a lucky loser. I'd lost in qualies and I didn't even think I'd be playing. And I was just sitting in the player cafe, and someone withdrew, and playing Andy Murray, and I'm thinking that is not a good spot to get drawn in as a lucky loser. And I've just gone out there and I served incredibly well. I didn't get broken the whole day and won 7-6, 6-2, and he's the world number 1. And guys throughout their career, they don't even get to play a world number 1. They don't get to play, they don't get to play a lot of big matches. And when that last serve hit the backboard, hit an ace on match point to win, I thought, I just beat the world number 1, and one of my, favourite players growing up. That was probably one of the more memorable matches of my life. Yeah.
Well, you played him again, but didn't get to finish the match this year. Was that hard in a way, because the guy has never played a singles match ever again. After retiring early on in a match there. You knew walking out that Andy Murray wasn't quite who you met a few years beforehand as world number 1?
Yeah, I think in that day in 2017, I don't know if he was 100% healthy then, but I didn't know. I think it was second round at Queen's this year, and we were warming up, and I had no idea because I was just doing my own thing. I didn't see him in the locker room. Barely saw him all day until he's walking down the steps and he's looking a bit ginger. But even then, I'm not really looking because I'm getting my stuff out of my bag, getting ready to play. And then we start warming up, and I'm like, something's off. And I seen him hitting serves, and I'm like, this is nothing like he's done in his life. And then we start, and he cannot move, and it actually made me like a bit tight because I'm like, I got to win this match now. The guy can't move, and I don't know if he's going to warm up, but I need to get off to a good start. And then, then I saw him serve. I'm like, what's he doing out here? And then I actually started getting booed by the crowd because I was, hitting a kick serve, hitting a drop shot, making him run, and they didn't like that too much. But funnily enough, when I was growing up and I would watch him play and his opponent was hurt or hurting, he just hit a drop shot. Yeah. He'd get booed. He didn't care. It was nothing personal, just getting the job done. So it was a tough way for him to go out that day, but you don't get too many of those matches on tour. Some guys go through their career where they don't even get, a withdrawal or a walkover, and I haven't got many, and not many guys do, but you probably don't want that one against Andy Murray at Queen's.
Yeah.
But it put me in the quarters.
What does he say to you after?
I just asked him, what happened and how's he feeling, and he said he was just cactus. I can't really remember.
Word.
Yeah, I can't really remember what he said, but it certainly wasn't cactus. But he was done.
Yeah. Wow. It's What do you think of him and Novak heading into the Oz Open?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's fun for them. I guess you're at Novak's level now. You've literally done everything in the sport. It's probably going to get a bit boring. So hopefully, Andy, brings God knows what, but hopefully keeps him entertained and
bit of
motivated. Yeah.
We're going to see you at the Australian Open, obviously, in a featured match. Hopefully they put you on one of the big courts early on, seeing you're an Aussie seed. But how do you select, when you're on one of those featured matches, how do you select this is back to life on tour, your entourage? Who gets the seats? Because there's, 8?
That's a good question.
8 or
Depends
12?
what court you're on. Yeah, I guess obviously bigger court,
Yeah.
more seats, but usually
Selection process here.
yeah.
Don't want to upset anyone.
Do you get a lot of mates hitting you up for tickets?
People come from the woodwork.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but I don't really want guys that aren't a part of the team in there. I mean, unless they're a good mate and I know them and I talk to them regularly, sure. But other than that, I just want Marinko, Tonu, my physio Luke Fuller. Usually, these are the bigger tournaments. I just want those three there. Obviously, my dad as well. He does a few weeks with me on the road, and I just want people. I don't want a big entourage. It just gets too much and too exhausting. So I just want a minimal box.
Aussies are notorious for being pretty laid back characters, pretty humble characters. You've been in this game for a long time now. You're in career best form. You're traveling the world with the biggest names in the world in the sport. How do you stay humble? How do you stay connected to your mates at home? How do you keep a level head?
Hopefully they think I am level-headed and not.
Look, you're going all right. You're talking about shithole places to visit, so.
Visit Romania.
Yeah, that'll put things into perspective. Yeah, it's I really just, my life is pretty much sport, and I only follow two really. I follow the Premier League and I follow the NRL, and I talk to my mates a lot about those two things. And when I'm on the road, obviously a lot of topic of conversation is sport. But then, my opinion on the thing is when guys are arrogant, like on the tour, I'm thinking, pull your head in. You're good at hitting a tennis ball. No one cares.
Is there a lot of it? A lot of arrogance?
There can be. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like some guys are delusional. Yeah. And I'm just thinking this guy's an absolute clown. Yeah. Just because he's good at one sport doesn't mean shit. Yeah.
Well, because at the end of the day, it's a pretty great life. It's a privilege for you guys to be out there doing what you do, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, at Wimbledon, I think they had, I was walking to get tickets, and at the ticket desk is kind of near the entrance, and one of the members of the royal family was coming in, and I couldn't even tell you who it was. I couldn't tell you what they looked like. And everyone's standing around like, oh, this person's coming in, this person's coming in. I'm like, their shit still stinks. And
are you sure?
I hope so. Otherwise, I'm wrong.
Well, no, then something's wrong with them, I dare say. Yeah,
I think so. But everyone was crowded around. I'm like, I'm off for lunch. I'll see you guys later.
Did you have to go and take us back to the tickets thing? Like at Wimbledon for a place like that, do you actually have to go and buy them, or you can get them? Or
this was for a match, and I just had to leave a couple for a friend, so I just wrote on an envelope. Yeah, I was on my way.
Hey,
usually I don't deal with that because I don't want to get bothered with those kind of things. I'm thinking I'm here for tennis. I don't want to be dealing with tickets. So I usually
get your people to do that.
Yeah,
get your people to talk to my people. Getting your people.
Don't bother me.
Interesting. Yeah, just don't try and impress me with royalty.
Yeah, well, it won't work.
That's the lesson today, Jules.
I
for one Jay
love
Thompson.
The royal family, and it was probably the Princess of Wales, but whatever.
What's her name?
Catherine.
Don't think it was her.
Oh,
I actually don't know.
That's
at
Will's
Wimbledon,
wife.
That's Will's wife.
Princess Kate.
Catherine.
Oh, Kate, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
Kate.
That was it.
Oh my gosh.
Catherine over
Middo to her mates.
Catherine Middleton, also known as the Princess of Wales.
I think it could have been her, but I was off for lunch.
Yep, okay. Off for lunch.
Yeah,
off for lunch.
Wimbledon buffet.
We could keep talking nonsense for another hour, but we can't. But it's so great to have you in here. You're looking well. How are you feeling? Because you are heading into another big summer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling healthy. Davis Cup at the end of the year is really tough. I mean, we're playing well into November, and it can, Davis Cup's high pressure situations. It can take its toll, but I was obviously disappointed that we lost, but I was ready to go home after that and just, have a little bit of time off just to get feeling good, and then just wanted to get stuck into training and hopefully get some sunlight.
Lots of ocean swims?
Yeah, I've already had a few of those, and there'll be plenty more.
Yeah, I thought that might be the case. Who are you looking forward to? Let's talk about the Aussie contingent, but who are you looking forward to seeing in action this summer?
Demon's always popular. I mean, he's always our number one player and has been for a few years. But I'm really hoping that Nick can take the court. How
much of a freak is he? As a player,
he's a freak.
As someone who has worked alongside him for a long time and knows him personally, you know, you watch that serve on television and you think, holy hell, this guy's got some power there. What's it like to see him in action?
Yeah, it's better seeing him in action than playing him, because when I played him, it was on grass at Wimbledon, and you know I was lost in 5 sets, and watching that serve just go past me is just not enjoyable. It's a lot more enjoyable watching him ace other people. But he's a freak. I mean, great serve. He's a good athlete. He's got unlimited power. There's no reason he can't come back and do damage.
Is he putting in the hard yards?
I think so. I mean, when I came back after Shanghai and I was playing some points with him and practicing with him, the level was quite high, and he hadn't even played for, you know, nearly 2 years. And, you know, I'd been playing a whole 2 years that, you know, he wasn't there. And I felt like I was improving and getting up the rankings, and he's coming back, and it was I felt like a kid on the court. It was just, he hasn't played and he's toying with me. So yeah, he can do real damage.
Yeah, well, you've seen the 9 promos for the local television broadcasters down here in Australia. It's the summer of Nick and the comeback and the redemption story. So the whole narrative is around this guy overall for the summer. I
kind of wish they didn't do that, because it puts a lot of pressure on him. And I think any Aussie knows that playing in Australia at the start of the year, wanting to get off to a good start for the season, we don't want to put that kind of pressure on Nick's shoulders.
Unprotected in a draw as well.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it doesn't come up in my section.
Brisbane first round, Thompson Kyrgios. At least you won't be on court 2.
Yeah, jeez. That'll be prime time, I think. But, you know, it's sometimes I feel for him, because he has so much pressure on his shoulders, and he's got to deal with it. And, yeah, I mean, it's tough all the time, and it can hinder your game.
Oh, you be you.
Yeah.
Just take care of.
Well, I'm happy sliding under the radar. Yeah, and I usually do, and I'm happy about it. So hopefully that continues.
Thanks, Dad. You do you. That was good life advice.
No worries.
Yeah. Have you got any other questions that you'd like to ask?
No, I'm good.
No, you're good?
I've got everything out of Tom I need to. I know how it all works.
I was just making sure, because we had very important topics to get through. Their favourite tournament, best buffet, best perk. Yep. I think we got there.
That's sweet.
Biggest asshole. Yep.
Jeez, it'd be a long line.
Highbrow stuff this episode of Deuce. Jordan, so lovely to see you. You're looking great. I would like to know your skincare routine, because for someone who spends a lot of time in the sun, you're looking good.
No, it's a bit red here. I mean, just maybe the face is looking okay.
Yeah,
maybe I just pumped a heap of aloe vera on just before I started.
A bit of a glow. Well, wishing you all the very best for the summer ahead. It's so great of you to come in and have a chat to us. We can't wait to see what you and the rest of the Aussie gents get up to.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Good luck, Tomo.
Thank you for showing up. Again,
I'll just try and be here.
It's amazing how you just show up.
It's all I can do, Jules. And well done you as well for steering the ship, because I sure
I don't know if I steered anything today. It's been a bit all over the place. But thank you to watching another episode or listening to another episode of Deuce. We will be back next week. Have we got a guest lined up?
Not yet.
Oh, cool.
I thought you were running the show, because he can't run a bar.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I do keep towels very neat and tidy. I pack a suitcase well. If you travelled with me, I'd be getting the bottles out and lining them up.
Sweet. We go well.
Yeah, we'd go really well together. All right, this is Deuce. We're back next week. Who's on? We will find out next week when you visit us here in the Clubhouse.
Someone.
See you next episode of Deuce.
So there you have it. That is Deuce. Now, don't forget, if you enjoyed what you've seen here on Fanatics TV, give us a like if you can. Hit the like button. Also, subscribe. It's somewhere down there. And importantly, tell your mates. Grow the Clubhouse. We want all in.